Hey there, today we are going behind the scenes of our annual tuber sale. Being a successful tuber sale really begins when we dig our tubers in the fall. So we're typically digging right around Halloween or that first week of November. We dig them the last few years, or actually since we began growing dahlias, even as a hobbyist, we were washing them immediately after we dug them and then putting them into storage. This year for the 2022-2023 season, we did not wash them. So we purchased a small single row custom built potato digger this last year. This was our first season using it and we were thrilled with how well it worked. We're still a very small grower to need a machine like this, but we're increasing more and more tubers, and just having a mechanized way of digging these tubers really helped us preserve the tubers that did grow and was super efficient in getting them out of the ground. So overall, just very happy with that machine and how it dug. So definitely we'll be using that in future years. This year, we also did not wash them. That was a first for us. I was kind of skeptical, how is this gonna work, or are they gonna store as well? And right now, we're at the end of February. Actually, today's the 1st of March. So they're looking great. I am happy that we did not wash them, and I'll be able to provide a little bit more insight into what we used for storage and the process of storing our tubers this year. We did a few experiments and we're really happy with how things turned out. So that's going to be coming in a later video. But the digging, the storing, and the dividing is really the first step in having a successful tuber sale. So once they're out of the ground, we immediately put them into our insulated container that has 2 cool bots in it to keep the temperature right below 40 degrees. So we had the cool bots running. As we were digging them out of the ground, they were getting put right into this insulated shipping container. And then as soon as we finished digging, that next week, we started dividing. And dividing took us about 2.5 months to divide 8,000 clumps of dahlia. Dividing is one of the most time-consuming parts of growing and storing dahlias. It's just time consuming. You have to pull out every single crate, every single clump of tubers, divide them down, check for eyes. Not all of the tubers will have eyes, so we're checking for that, and then we're putting them back into storage. And during that process, I took a total count of all of the tubers that were divided. This year, we also did something a little bit different. Instead of dividing down into one single tuber, we kept them together in little clumps of 2 or sometimes 3 tubers, just to help preserve them a little bit, give them a little bit extra to hopefully make it through storage and stay more plump, more viable during our storage process. So I had a gal help me this year, Martha. She's worked for us the last 2 years and she is wonderful. She's really gotten good at dividing, and she would be working on dividing. I would be working on counting. So I took a I took a total count of every single tuber that got divided that we packed into storage. And I took those numbers, and that's what I was able to make our estimates for our online tuber sale. You can see behind me, I have our website up. So I took estimates of what I thought we would be able to offer in the sale. I don't make any promises or list anything unless I know for sure that we are able to sell it, that we have a good, viable, quality tuber to send out to customers. She finished dividing, I was taking counts of every variety that she was going through. I don't actually take a final count of what we can offer and what we're going to list on our website until 1 to 2 weeks before we go live with the sale. So this year our sale was February 19th. Our sale is still open too. If you're curious, if you want to shop dahlias, go and check it out. It's ColumbiaRiverDahlias.com. Anyway, our sale went live February 19th. I felt like that was a good time for us. It's not kind of like right in the middle of storage season. There's still a 1.5 months left for us of storage, but it's not too early to where if I sold stuff and the storage went poorly, that I would have to give refunds. So for me right now, that's our sweet spot. This is our 4th year of commercially growing and selling dahlias to customers across the country. So I still consider us fairly new to the dahlia world and growing commercially, which is fine. There's a lot of experimenting in growing crops and in gardening in general. Is a lot of experimenting. So we're trying new things. We're seeing what works for us and what doesn't. So before our sale goes live, I go into our storage and I pull out all of the crates of the varieties that I have estimated that we would be able to list on this site. So I start going through those one by one, individually picking out the tubers that we are going to list on the website. So that way I have an actual count of what I feel looks nice, has an eye, and will be viable by the time that we ship them out at the end of March and early April. From there, I can take the actual counts and I know if anything on our website needs to be removed or added. Sometimes there's varieties that I think like, oh, I might be able to list, a small amount of these, around 50. I try not to list anything that we don't have a quantity of at least 50. Once I go through and actually have a final count of the tubers that I can list online, I'll go onto the website and remove any varieties that I felt stored too poorly to sell or that we end up not having enough quantity of. I don't want to list tubers that we only have 5 or 10 or 15 tubers of. That just creates disappointment in our customers when they really want a variety and it sells out within the first few minutes of our tuber sale opening. I've been on that end of the customer side of buying tubers and feeling like clicking, trying to get a certain variety in my cart and come away empty-handed, and it's frustrating. It is so frustrating as a consumer to feel like super excited about getting a certain variety, especially those rare varieties, and then not coming away with it because the grower only had a very small amount. And I understand a lot of these growers who are selling tubers, they're just selling off their extras. They're small, mom and pop, they have small fields. I am not, my business model is not set up that way. I want to grow in quantities so that when we do have a tuber sale and there are varieties that our customers want, that there's enough to last, a few hours or 48 hours or even longer, so that a good amount of people can get what they're looking for. Once I have our website updated and the varieties that we are actually going to be able to offer, I start sending out emails. I post on social media that we have an upcoming tuber sale. Our email newsletter subscribers get the first chance at shopping. We send out the date and the time, all of that to them first. I just feel like that's a good incentive to having, to being on our newsletter. It's, you give us your email and you want to hear from us. You want tips, you want tricks, you want news about our tuber sale. Really, at the end of the day, that's what a lot of people sign up for, is information about our tuber sale. So the date and time goes out to them first. And then once we went live, I sent it out through social media, promoting it, saying, hey, we're live. I think I waited 24 hours before I posted about it this year. But then our tuber sale is open. We ship anywhere in the United States. We ship to Hawaii, Alaska, Florida, all across the country. We're not currently shipping outside of the country, but that's not to say that we won't in the future. Having a successful tuber sale really hinges on good marketing, making sure that people know the date and the time that it opens. A lot of our inventory is sold in that first really like 2 or 3 hours of our sale opening. So the first 24 hours and then 48 hours, those are our busiest times for the tuber sale, but really it's that small chunk right at the very beginning when we go live that a lot of our customers are on. They're excited, they're wanting to buy. So it's really important that they know what time we're opening and what varieties we're going to have available in the sale. And the day that the tuber sale goes live, I start adding in inventory. And for reference, I use Shopify, which is an online e-commerce platform. I absolutely love Shopify. If you are selling a product, if you have something that you're selling online, I highly recommend looking into Shopify. This is not sponsored, but I have used it the last, I believe, this is our 4th season selling. So I've used it the last 4 years and I could not be more happy about it. I've actually gotten customers who email in saying they've had such a great shopping experience, which makes me feel wonderful that their process was, not frustrating for them, that it was smooth and streamlined and they were able to get in, get checked out, and get what they needed quickly. So I use Shopify. The one thing that I have struggled with Shopify is that in order to load in inventory, everything that's displayed on the website will disappear. So the day of the sale, I'll start loading in inventory and I'll set the time to go live at 6 p.m. or whatever time I've chosen to have the sale go live. So I usually start middle of the day, right around noon or 1 o'clock, adding in inventory. And from that time on, from 1 until 6 p.m. when our sale goes live, the website looks blank. So none of these pictures are showing. So as people are getting on, it's like, okay, why are there no tubers? Why are there no pictures on here? Are they actually having a sale? And that's just how this platform works. I'm not sure if there's a workaround around that, but it is something I need to look into. I don't really think there is a workaround. It's just something that I have to communicate very clearly to our customers. I usually leave one or two listings on the website that are not products for sale, that are just informational, and it'll say like shipping information or Dahlia inventory populating at 6 p.m. Get ready, we're coming at 6 p.m. Inventory will start showing at 6 p.m. I really feel like there is a need to over communicate in as many ways as possible, just letting people know this is what's going on, this is how our website works, and this is what you can expect. And then the more you can educate and inform and communicate with people, the smoother the process for both you as the seller and them as the customer are going to be.